This is a budget that we did a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when. And I had set up some formulas for you automatically in here. So I'm going to not use the same numbers we used before. I'm just going to kind of make some up and zoom in a little bit in case it's hard to see. So let's just say from work you make each week, I don't know, $800. So that means for the month you make $3,200. Notice it just went in automatically because it says B3. It's a terrible place for that. Hold on, in the classroom. It says B3 times 4. And then here is C3 times 12. So it takes this and multiplies by 12. So if I get a raise, I don't have to go back. Some people were filling these in on their own and typing the numbers in. If I get a raise, say I now get $850 a week, it does all the math for me. That's the benefit. Anytime you change one little thing, everything else will change. Let's say for odd jobs, I make $200 a month. So $200 a month, then we should know for the year, we would multiply by 12. 200 times 12 is 2,400. And if we're dividing for weeks and dividing by 4, that's going to be $50 a week. And once I hit enter, it fills all of those in for me. So here, this is $900 because it's B3 plus B4. B3 and B4. Let's say I decide to put $50 a week into savings. That ends up being $2,400 a month. So I'm just going to kind of, this is my monthly column. I'm going to fill in some numbers and then go over, let's say my rent, I have roommates. I didn't even know what's an appropriate rent amount with roommates. Maybe, let's say $900. Let's say I don't have a car payment. Maybe my parents gave me a car. Let's say each month I plan on spending $100 on lunches. My cell phone bill is $60. PG&E is my share, let's say $75. Water is $90. Trash is $50. Entertainment, I'm going to leave that blank to see what we have to deal with. Groceries, I spend about $200 a month. Clothing and shoes, gas, TV. We don't have a TV, so I'll leave that as 0. I'm going to put $50 away for that. Okay. So this one right here was filled in because I set it up as C11 divided by 4. Anytime I want to fill in, like for lunches, if I want to find my weekly lunches amount, to do an equation, you type equals, and then C13 divided by 4. Also, another thing you can do, if all of these I want divided by 4 for this column, I can just take this and I can click and scroll it down. So notice it divided each of these by 4 without having to type it in one at a time. For this column, remember is yearly. So here I would do equals 900, not 900. That's a mistake a lot of you made. I don't do that. This times 12. And it fills it in for me. And then look, Google Sheets is really smart. It says, look, do you want to do this? And it's going to autofill all of these in using that same formula where it takes that column. And so the benefit of this, so say my rent, I move and now my rent's only $700 a month. It changes these for me. And then remember, if you want to get the sum here for the total expenses, you type the word sum and then the cells that you want. And it adds them all up for you. So it'll do all of this for you. This was kind of another one. I just found a couple of these online. So here, this was someone is keeping track of their food stand. So the simple burgers, they sold 100 of them. The price is $2. So the total sales here, you would do equals this times and then this, enter. And it does it for you. Look, it fills it in again. This last one though was average. So I want to delete that one. So remember, average adds them all up and divides. And it even suggests B7 through B12. It says, hey, do you really want all of those? Yes, I do. And it does it for you. So they sold the average was 104 of each of those. This one is an example of, so a couple of different things. So exam marks, scores. So English, math, I don't know why it's maths, plural, that's okay. Geography, biology, business management. And here are people's names. Notice if I click on it, I can see that's John McDonald and Marcia. But you can't, to see their whole name, if I select these cells, you can go to text wrapping. And so this shows that it's overflowing into the next one. I want it to wrap around. And so it's going to kind of go into two different lines now so that it'll fit. Just a little thing. So if I want the average again, this one's the average of these. So John's average was 61%. Here they want the highest mark. So Google Sheets can also tell you what's the highest. So equals, if I want the max of these, and we can look at it and see the maximum is 80. But if I do that, it does it for you. If I have a list of 30 students in a class and I want to know what the highest score was, that's going to be the easiest way. And maybe I want the lowest score equals the minimum. The lowest score teachers I know sometimes will drop the lowest score. And so you can see John's lowest score was 42%. This is similar to the one we just did. If this is their annual salary, to get monthly salary equals this cell divided by 12. And then look, autofill all of them in. Totals here. So equals the sum of all of these. And it highlights them to say, hey, is that really what you want? And you hit enter. So the total monthly salary at this restaurant is just over $28,000. Kind of helps you know if you're making a budget or kind of owning a business. It's a good thing to keep in mind to know how to do these. It does it all for you. I would hate to say, oh, look, nope, my general manager needs a raise. They want $45,000 now. And it just changes all of this for me. What's this one? Okay, just a couple of other things. So same idea here. If I want to fill in the tax. So Dan bought something for $9,567.54. So the tax would be equal to this times Solano tax rate is 0.0. So it's 8. I don't remember. Let's say 8.75%. I actually think it's a little bit lower, but I could be wrong. Let's say our sales tax 8.75. So the tax here, notice these, we know tax should be 2 decimal places, money. So when it doesn't do that for you, there are some, because I zoomed in. So right here for the formatting, I honestly don't know the difference in all of these. If I want financial or currency, but if I choose either one of these, it's going to put it in this format and round it to 2 decimal places for me. And if I drag that down, it does it for all of them. So do I expect you to remember how to do all of this? No. Do I remember everything on here? No. I have to look some of it up sometimes. The basic ones like these, yes, I remember. And if you start using things like this, especially when you are on your own, I definitely think it's a good idea to keep track of your expenses. So I just made something like this. This could even be rent. So these were, I just kind of started brainstorming, making this. So rent, PG&E, water, internet, trash, car, insurance, maybe phone. All right, I can make a list. I typed in January, February. I don't want to type all the months. It's kind of annoying. I can just go like this, drag this over, and it'll fill them in for me. And I want to go through December. But look, now I can't see what my bills were. Right? So I don't know if this cell right here, was this my rent? Was this my phone bill? You can go back. This I never remember how, but format. There is a way view. Oh, freeze. I can freeze that. So that's a column. And so now when I scroll over, that stays there. So now on this cell, I know I'm talking about my water bill. And this is similar. Again, everyone does it differently, but this is similar to how I keep track of my monthly expenses. And so your rent, let's say, is $1,000 a month. Your rent's not going to change. You can do totals. So what I do on mine, I keep a total at the end. So equals the sum of all of these. Notice I included these blank spaces because some things don't happen every month and they just come up, once or twice a year, depending on what they are. Maybe you have car repairs, car registration. PG&E changes though. So maybe it's $150 this month, maybe it's $125 this month. And you can drag this over as well to kind of see all of those. You can do something at the end of the year to do a sum in that column too, to say how much did I spend on rent, how much was PG&E last year, especially to help you make your budget after you've done it for a few months. You can kind of see how things are changing. And the last one I want to show you kind of relates back to some of the stuff we've been doing. So this I just did, I made it the other day on April 29th. So a $30,000 car on April 29th at 4.5% interest. This cell right here is divided by 3. So that's the daily rate. I took the interest rate, the APR divided by 365. So this is like the amortization table. I just made one in Google Sheets. You can scroll down and you can see this car is going to be paid off May 1st in 2026. This payment is a little bit too large, $4.90 too large. That's a little bit extra. But I did a car loan with an extra payment. And so if you go in here, and let's say I change my payment to $600 a month, I can drag this down for as many months as I can pay $600. And notice I'm here in the negative in all of these. So this is 5 months sooner. I can pay off the car. I'd pay almost $3,300 in interest, where here I'm paying almost $3,600. Home loan, same idea, a $344,000 loan, started April 1st, 3.25%. So here, notice the payment's $1,497.11. Just kind of want to remind you guys. So here we're paying this in total interest, $195,234. Let's say I just pay $1,500 a month. Again, this is $1,497. So this is almost $3 extra a month. And it's not a huge difference, but you're going to pay it off May 1st. Here, you're paying it off 2 months sooner just by paying $3 more. And $195,234. This is $194. So $700 you're saving by paying $3 extra. Again, all of that little stuff is going to add up. Another payment method that people like to utilize to help you pay off your home earlier is making bi-weekly payments, so every 2 weeks. So if you make your home loan, you pay 12 times a year, once a month. If you do it bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, you're going to make 26 payments a year, which would then be equivalent to like 13 months worth, but in 1 year. So you're really making an extra payment. So what I did here is I did every 14 days, paying $750. So $1,500 here and split it in half. And a lot of people get paid every 2 weeks. And so this is a good way, instead of having one of your paycheck go all towards your mortgage, by doing it this way, you pay an extra payment a year. And you pay it off in May 2047 versus March of 2051. 194,000 in interest, 166,000 in interest. So if you can, this is a great tool. Again, it's just something, most of you aren't going to be going out and buying a house immediately, maybe in 5 years or so, maybe sooner, maybe longer. Just something to keep in mind when the time does come. All right. I don't like talking that much, especially when it's not interactive. So hopefully you got something out of that, though. Just, again, you're not necessarily going to remember all of that, but hopefully you know that those things are available to you. And when you're on your own and trying to keep a budget, I think it should be very helpful. So your homework tonight is this credit card statement, very similar to the other one, but a credit card statement, there's a lot more going on this one. Let me zoom in. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go over what's on here, and then you have your 10 questions with one extra optional credit question at the end. So previous balance was $535. So that's how much from last month. You only paid $450. So you did not pay off the whole bill. You had some other credits for $13. That might be you returned something. Could be another way. That's my go-to on credits. Purchases. So you spent almost $530 on stuff this month. Balance transfers. You transferred $785 from a different credit card onto this one. You took out $318 in a cash advance. So fees this month were $69. Interest was almost $11. So your new balance is $1,784.53. That's how much you owe on this credit card. So that's the new balance up here. You can see your limit's $2,000. So you've almost maxed this out. You have $215 available. That was the date that this got closed and mailed to you. And there are 30 days in this cycle. You owe $53 as your minimum payment by April 20th. Here's your late payment warning, minimum payment warning. This is very helpful, I think, to look at on credit cards. If you only make the minimum payment and never use this card again, right? You stop using it. If you only pay $53 a month, it's going to take you 10 years, and you're going to pay them almost $3,300 in interest. But if you pay $62, so only $9 more, it's going to take you only 3 years, and you'll pay $2,200. So a savings of $1,052. This is printed on credit card statements. They tell you how long it's going to take if you only make the minimum payment and how much you're going to pay. I don't remember the threshold for like the dollar amount or the number of years, but they have to show you another option as well to kind of show you how you can save money. Notice to the changes of your interest rate, you've triggered the penalty. This is how it's impacted. So transactions made after this date. So as of May 10th, this is the penalty APR. Transactions made before previous terms. Important changes. This might not always be on there, right? You hope to never see this on your credit card because that means you failed to live to their terms and they're raising your interest rate. Important changes, revised terms as of here. There's your APR. It keeps going. They show you a list of your transactions. And if for those of you that have online banking, it's very similar. Reference number, transaction date, post date. Notice some of these are different, right? Here it's the 22nd, 23rd. Here it's the same date. Oftentimes, if it's the weekend, it won't post until Monday. So that's probably what happened right here for 27 and 28, posted on March 1st. Store 1, there's your payment. Store 2, there's your cash advance, your balance transfer. Store 3, 4, and 5. It breaks down the fees for you. You had a late fee, there's that fee, there's that fee. Interest, you charge interest on purchases and cash advances. Here's how much year to date. So since January 1st, how much you've paid in fees and interest. It breaks down the interest rate for you. So sometimes you'll get like promotional periods, 12 months, no interest. If you have other purchases on there previously, those will be at different interest rates. So it shows all of the different interest rates. So here you can see the balance transfer was 0%. That's why you or whoever decided to transfer their balance over. So there's no interest there. It'll have, so these are variable, meaning they can change. And then you have your questions. So that is your homework for tonight. 10 questions with 10 multiple choice, 1 optional written response that will be graded for accuracy. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, you're free to go and I will see you tomorrow.